Words of wisdom have been passed down through generations, and though most of them were not written, the oral nature of these proverbs are still used as a guide for many of us today. African proverbs, like others, can be used for correction, guidance, and praise. Many of these proverbs have more of an effect when said in the native tongue of the country. Anyways, here are the Proverbs of Africa. Like, subscribe, and share please to help us. Thanks and enjoy. We know the saying, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. And an African version of the proverb from Kenya goes by, a fully grown up tree cannot be bent into a walking stick. And so if you believe you can convince a person to change, when you know the chances of them changing are slim, remember this proverb from the Ivory Coast that says, too much discussion leads to a quarrel. And so if a quarrel happens and this causes a crisis, a proverb from Nigeria says, in the moment of crisis, the wise build bridges and the foolish build dams. When it comes to being happy and being content with life, a Swahili proverb mentioned, teeth do not see poverty. It is always good to make an impact in this world, but you should remember that the axe forgets, but the tree remembers. Making an impact also depends on the decisions you make. That's why a Yoruba saying goes, where you will sit when you are old shows where you stood in your youth. The more valued you are by society, the bigger the impact you will make, even if it's negative. Which comes true with the Mozambican proverb, an ox traps more than 100 mosquitoes. There is a proverb from Ghana that mentions even the lion, the king of the forest, protects himself against flies, which shows that we'll always have issues to deal with no matter how small or insignificant they may be. And if you need more emphasis on that, then you can look to a Kenyan proverb that states, a flea can trouble a lion more than a lion can trouble a flea. Knowledge is important, especially when it's passed down, and so it's important to seek wisdom from elders, because the death of an elderly man is like a burning library, as stated in a Gambian proverb. Life sometimes can be riddled with problems we have to solve, and it is easy to get carried away with looking at the problems themselves. So the next time you find yourself stuck in a situation, look at this Rwandan proverb that says, if you are building a house and the nail breaks, do you stop building or do you change the nail? When it comes to being an upstanding person in life, a Somali proverb says, be a mountain or lean on one. It is also good to remember when walking through life, those who accomplish great things pay attention to little ones. When dealing with conflict with anyone, do not call a dog with a whip in your hand. Whenever you find yourself dealing with something that could cost you a loss in life, remember, do not talk about a rhino if there is no tree nearby. And be careful because the lion is a beautiful animal when seen at a distance. In our relationship with the world, we usually have to adapt to our environment, which can be understood with the proverb from Senegal that mentions the chameleon changes color to match the earth doesn't change colors to match the chameleon. While assimilating with the world, we should also know when to be individuals and when to mingle with the crowd. A Kenyan proverb states, do not follow a person who is running away. While talking about people, it's also important to know that an intelligent enemy is better than a stupid friend. Individuality and image is important, which brings its benefits. It is said in Namibia that even a weak lion is not bitten by a dog. Family is very important in life, and children are valuable members of a home with the joy they bring, and in Kenya it is said that the laughter of a child lights up the house. Mothers especially love their children no matter what their children may do, and the Nigerian proverb mentions, a monkey is ugly but his mama still loves him. Furthermore, we should always remember that our children are always watching what we do. And in an Igbo proverb, it's mentioned that when the mother goat breaks into the yam store, her kids watch her. Ultimately, parents want their children to succeed when they go out into the world, and it is emphasized that we should equip our kids with this Sudanese proverb that says, we desire to bequeath two things to our children. The first one is roots, the other one is wings. When it comes to advice about humanity and keeping vital information to yourself before sharing, remember that the roaring lion kills no prey. It is important to stay focused on what you believe is right and not be influenced by others, which is emphasized in this proverb from Benin that mentions, you must attend to your business with the vendor in the market and not to the noise of the market. We have always thought that when we attain certain goals, we will be content, but be careful because no matter how full the river is, it still wants to grow. And a person with too much ambition cannot sleep in peace. When it comes to understanding all things happen when their time comes, a Zimbabwean proverb states, a ripe melon falls by itself. In understanding oneself, you should know that a mad dog bites anything except itself. What advice is out there for those in love? Well, in Ethiopia it's said that coffee and love taste best when hot. In Egypt it's said that one who marries for love alone will have bad days but good nights. However, heartbreak does not discriminate, as a Namibian proverb mentions, love is a despot who spares no one. Finally, there are some proverbs that are not known exactly where they are from, however they must be considered in one's life. The wrong kind of conflict is porous, affecting those around them, and so when two elephants fight, it is the grass that gets hurt, meaning that others, particularly those around like children in a marriage or citizens in a war between two nations, would suffer the consequences of conflict. Everyone generally goes through the same struggles in life, and that's emphasized with the statement, rain does not fall on one roof alone. When dealing with people, it's good to know that rain beats the leopard's skin, but it does not wash out spots. And when dealing with people like that, it's good to acknowledge that anger and madness are brothers. As for having a mentor, it's said that the fly that has no one to advise him follows a corpse into the grave. As to ignore bad luck, remember that the day I need a wife, the market is filled with mad people. Passion must always drive our actions, and in that vein, send your child where he wants to go and you will see his pace. When entering a situation, it's good to be careful. Therefore, remember, only a fool tests the depth of water with both feet. There are thousands more African proverbs out there, and if you have one, do not hesitate to let us know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Will we see you in the next one?